I'm back. I'm back. Hello? Hello? I'm back. This is John Noble reporting. This is John Noble reporting. John Noble reporting his advocacy for the mother and stepfather. Hello? John Noble. I just have a bit of a communication problem, that's alright. These matters are brought to the table and make it a point to proceed to a full investigation in why the Department of Human Services in Victoria the last 2 years have failed to protect these children. And now the mother and stepfather, and what we have is a father assaulting a daughter. As I said, this is quite serious. I can't really show you this court order for legal reasons. What I'll do, just give me a sec. I can show you only because there's no names mentioned to it. Just give me a sec. Hang on. See this here. What it says here is, if we can get it in focus, a bit difficult. There we go. Federal Judge Magistrate Connolly. He's a Federal Judge Magistrate Connolly. Federal Magistrate. And this Federal Magistrate might want to get John Noble and arrest him and put him in jail because of what John Noble is saying. But we do live in not in a third world country, we live in a country that is accepted. Now, you did see that. But what I want to do is, this is slander. There is no evidence to sit. I have been found guilty with no evidence, no jury, no trial, and no proof. This is stopping the mother and the stepfather and damaging the stepfather and the mother and causing damage to her children. And it's also destroying the reputation and good name of the stepfather, and able to get an education and able to move forward and get on with work and jobs and all that. Luckily, the stepfather has a Working with Children's blue card already, so that somewhat puts some things to bed. Now, as the mother has stated, reputation and good name and Department of reading into, the Department of Human Services reads into the stepfather and mother's stuff. And they overreact, but they don't overreact to the father assaulting a girl in Victoria. How can the Department of Human Services not overreact when a father assaults a girl? I mean, that's pretty bad. And especially when it's their father's daughter. I mean, that's pretty bad. They condone that, but they don't condone, and they show slander towards a mother and stepfather. That is quite bad. So when you look at this reputation, good name, the department is reading into this and slandering the stepfather and the mother, but also slandering the stepfather, and the effect on the mother and the children to live with the mother wishes that the conditions are to be removed from this order unless you can show why it should be there and show the evidence and stop the slander and damaging my husband, or you want to call him my stepfather. As I said, this is John Noble reporting for the fact that this needs to be advocated. And as the court order goes on to say, such times may be agreed between the mother and father to provide such time to take place in a country town of Victoria area to take place in the absence of the stepfather, and also known as the stepfather. At the end of the day, I wonder how and why that a federal magistrate Connolly could actually just, apparently you go to court these days in a family court or federal court, and one parent can actually accuse the other parent, and you have a federal magistrate's court that's entitled to destroy a person's life. Completely destroy a person's life and destroy a person's reputation and slander that person without any evidence, without any trial, without any evidence of anything or proper investigation. I think that at the end of the day, what we have here is a court of bulliness. And we also see this in the state courts of Victoria with this Judge Pitthouse. That apparently, a mother and a stepfather has not been in Victoria for 2 years. Does this this ring alarm bells? I think it does. I ask for the state government, before we consider to proceed with further proceedings with slander, that you proceed to back off, to stop slandering people's names and fully investigate these matters and these allegations, alleged allegations. And, you know, at the end of the day, this matter must stop. And you can contact John Noble, not a problem. Wherever this video is, I'm sure you can leave a message for John Noble. But at the end of the day, I find it very, very complicated why the Department of Human Services are somewhat focusing their full attention on a mother and stepfather that's been out of Victoria for 2 years. And this mother hasn't seen her children for 2 years. Why is the Department of Human Services focusing all their energy on the wrong people? When this father has just assaulted his daughter in a country town of Victoria, you know, throwing her up against fridges, dragging her down a hallway, throwing her out on concrete, hosing her down, putting water, hosing her in the face, abusing and yelling at her, and according to the Victorian police, oh no, that's acceptable, we won't be charging anyone with assault. But legally, as I said, I can't mention any names, and I can't mention where or how it's happened. All I can say is that in a nice, lovely, quiet town, country town of Victoria, we have these events taking place. And I think the general public should be aware that you have an inadequate Victorian government, I believe, that cannot sort out these matters, attack an innocent mother and stepfather, continue to attack an innocent mother and stepfather, and innocent children are being affected by this. And today having the Department of Human Services turn around and say, we'll be forcing the daughter back to the father. We will be forcing this. You know, it's a bit of a contradictory, isn't it, that they say they enforce family law court orders, but then they say they have nothing to do with the family law court orders. I believe that the Victorian government is put on notice now, and the federal courts and the federal government is now put on notice that we'll be looking at, in the near future, a lawsuit against them, because they cannot resolve their problems within their states. They cannot resolve their problems when it comes to courts. As I said, the family courts and the federal courts believe, and John Noble, which I am, works as an advocate and a lawyer, and I think at the end of the day the question is, I believe that the law needs to be changed, because the family law courts and the federal law courts, which I deal very much on a daily basis, that I have fathers making allegations against mothers and then making the allegations against the mother's partners, and that somehow the federal court dismisses that there is no evidence to proceed in this matter. And there's no evidence, there's no proper full investigation, and they just accept this other partner's allegations without any trial, without any evidence, and actually go ahead and slander that person's name. I don't think that's a good idea. I want it to stop. I'm going to leave it here, and I want people to urge people, as John Noble, as a advocate and lawyer, to write to your local politicians, write to them about this issue. Write to them and ask them what you think should be done. And the only way we can have laws amended and changed, and to stop having innocent people attacked and victimised by the Victorian Police, the Department of Human Services, for no reason. I think that the laws need to change, because it seems to be all backwards in my case. You have a mother that's very loving to her children, that love her children very well. You have a stepfather that's very supportive and supports the mother 100%. But then you have this ex-de facto father that chooses to actually act corruptly with corrupt police officers, which is the alleged into drugs and illegal activity, which is all alleged. But at the end of the day, it must stop. And it's got to stop. Stop the slandering, because the Victorian government and the federal government is now put on notice of a near future of getting a lawsuit against them. Signing off as John Noble.